Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Woohoo! I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman, and we are going to pull some medicine cards. So, in case you're new, the way this works is the first 6 people to come on and comment yes in the comments. Where else would you comment? But anyway, who say yes in the comments get a 1-card reading. And then after that, sorry, I'm a little tired tonight. After that, if you are not one of the first 6, no worries. All you need to do is choose a number between 1 and 6 and listen when I do a reading for that card, even though it may be focused on someone else's message. Spirit has this incredible and miraculous way of interweaving messages for whoever is listening. So come on in, welcome. And if you would like a 1-card reading, go ahead and say yes in the comments. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, hey, Jennifer. Awesome. All right. So, wow, it's kind of a slow night. Thanks, love. Usually people are fighting off, trying to get in before 6 other people get on. But that's okay. Like I said, I'm a little tired tonight, so I would be okay if for however it works out tonight. So, and so this video is free. This is from my heart. But I also have pinned to the top of the comments my links for PayPal and Venmo. And if you enjoy my work in general, or if you get something from the reading tonight and you would like to reciprocate, I am ever so grateful for whatever anyone is willing to give me to support your local shaman. Hi, Valerie, gotcha. And just kind of stalling a little to see if anyone else might show up. It's quiet. Too quiet. While we're waiting to see if other people show up, I have a number of things coming up. Starting a week from tomorrow, actually, I'm starting my monthly year-long course on shamanism. And I got you, Jennifer. Are you saying yes to the course? Where we meet every 4th Tuesday, we meet for 3 hours at my office, and we explore a different aspect of shamanism. And so you get to spend an entire year on the shaman's path. And the disclaimer being that this course will change your life. One of the biggest parts of shamanism, of course, is death and rebirth initiations, and you will have initiations. It's like, this is not a course like you take a a language course or a math course or something where it's its own little entity. When you study shamanism, it will infuse every particle, every little aspect of your life. And it will affect your entire life. You will not be the same person after this course as you are when you started. And for some people that can be scary, for some people that can be exciting, for some people it could be, okay, hey Sage, I will put you in parentheses. Anyway, so that is coming up next week. If you've ever wondered what it is to be a shaman, and you're curious, it's like you can come to the first class to kind of check it out and then decide if you want to commit to the full year. And let's see what else. Saturday, I may or may not be doing. Every fourth Saturday, I do a community sacred pipe ceremony in my office in downtown Renton, and I need to test tomorrow for COVID to make sure that I am clear. So it's kind of tentative, but assuming everything is good, we'll be doing that. If you've seen my Wednesday night pipe ceremonies and you're curious and would like to experience them in person, that's your opportunity. Or if you have no idea what I'm even talking about, but you're curious, come and check it out. It is the most powerful ceremony I know of, and it's all about the sacred pipe, the peace pipe, and connecting to Creator in that sacred space. So as you're curious, you can watch Wednesday night at 7. I'll be doing my on Facebook. I'll be doing it online. So join me then, and I guess we should just get started. Maybe we'll have just a small sampling tonight, so which is okay. All right, Jennifer, you are card number 1. Your cards are jumpy. Let's see. All right, so Jennifer, I guess the spirits are taking advantage of there not being as many people on tonight, so that you got 2 cards. One was snake and one was boar. Definite, like, holy crap changes in the air. Snake, of course, is about shedding the old. Like, it's interesting because both of these totally fit what I am personally experiencing lately. But snake is about shedding the old skin, shedding your old reality. Which is not a pleasant experience necessarily. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. But if you think about snake, as it's shedding its skin, the skin is becoming dry and flaky, right? And rattling around. And I mean, when you have dry skin, or even like a scab or something, and you want to keep picking it or whatever, it's like that's actually the purpose of that old skin, the old ways being unsatisfying in the least, and like totally not working at the worst case scenario is like nothing works. Everything that you've ever known how to take care of yourself, all the structures and everything, no longer work. And so you're kind of in this liminal space between worlds. The good news is, so we think about, like, we tend to think of, like, the shedding as, like, two stages, right? It's like you shed the old skin and then you get the new skin. We tend to separate death and rebirth, but they're actually the same thing. And the good news is that if the old skin is falling away, if the old ways no longer work, it's because the new ways are already here. Hey, Emerald, gotcha. So it's like the fact that you may be in crisis, things are not working, is actually a sign of growth, and it's coming because there is something better that suits you better, that is more authentic to you, that is pushing its way out. If how do I put it? If you weren't growing, if there were nothing else for you to learn, or no other adventures to take, no other places to explore, your skin, that snake skin, would remain constant and there would be no challenges to it, right? But the fact that you continue to grow, challenges come, and that skin starts to flake off, to become dry. And it's the discomfort of that dry skin that makes the snake rub against rocks and trees, etc., to get rid of the old skin. So the discomfort actually has a purpose. It's not just, oh, let's see how much that they can take. It's causing that. You could call it a healing crisis in a way, not necessarily a physical healing crisis, but a spiritual healing crisis, where it's basically like Dark Night of the Soul, where you have nothing to hold on to, and so it's like total surrender. There's nothing you can do about it anyway, and so it's kind of like just going with the ride. Like, my guides gave me a vision one time of, it's like you're in one of those like tunnel of love type rides at the carnival. You're in this boat and you're in the dark. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what's around you. And there are things constantly jumping out of the dark at you. There's loud noises and flashes and all these things, right? But there's also, as long as you're in the boat, none of that outside stuff can harm you. It can't touch you. You are safe as long as you trust the boat. And you don't even have to steer the boat. You don't even have to propel the boat. The boat knows where to go, the speed to go there. And so it's just a matter of riding along, surrendering. If you decide to start fighting all the different figures and stuff that are coming at you from the shadows, you're going to get hurt. You're going to jump out of the boat. You could drown in the water. You can get hurt on the equipment. And that's a sign of how, when what you resist persists. Like, by resisting something, you're actually giving it power. When you see it and you realize, oh, this is just an illusion, it might still startle you, right? I mean, you're not going to sit here unflinching. It's going to be, whoa. And that's part of the reason people go on those rides, right? But as long as you keep your limbs and your head inside the boat, you're safe. No matter what it looks like on the outside, no matter how threatening it looks, right? I was talking to someone a couple weeks ago about the concept of paper tigers. A paper tiger, it's the idea, like, your fears, your inner demons, they look scary. They look like they're ready to attack. They look like they could eat you alive, right? But they're not real. They're made out of paper, and when you can stand up to them and challenge them, they just roll up like a ball. You can crumple them up and throw them in the recycling bin because there's no substance to them. So no matter what's going on, this is a time of darkness because the eyes of the snake are part of the skin that is being regenerated, and so the snake is literally blind during this time. So it is a time of darkness, of not being able to see ahead, not being able to see where things are or where we're leading, right? And so again, it's about hunkering down, self-nurturing, right? Like when it's dark out, what do? You rest, you sleep, you dream. This is a time for inner dreaming, for inner activity, not outer activity. And just know that there is something better on the horizon. That it is because it's a sign of how far you've come that you find yourself in this situation, because you're basically leveling up, and all the things that you've experienced in the past have led you to this place where the reality that you formerly found yourself in can no longer contain you. You are literally bursting at the seams. So trust that experience. I have an easier time, like when I can keep that imagery in mind and know that the discomfort is on purpose. I have an easier time handling it, knowing that there's an end to it and that there is a purpose to it on the other side. Like doing reps in the gym or something, right? Like, oh my God, when am I going to stop? But you know that you're only doing so many, you can get through it, right? The other thing with snake is about transmutation. And the venom of snake is actually the seed of the antidote, the seed of the medicine to neutralize the venom, right? And so in this time of darkness, of laying low, of dreaming, it's a good time to look back at your life. You can do your whole life or just the past year or recently, and look at all the places that there might be regrets or shame. And when you can look at those places and realize that those are kind of like snake bites, right? Those places where you've been bitten and there's this venom, and it's like you can't completely be yourself. You feel like you did something wrong, or you're not worthy, or there's some shame around it. And if you can take that poison out of that experience and realize how much you've grown from that experience, rather than becoming a pitfall that you're continually falling into every time something like that comes up, you trip over yourself and you fall into that hole again, it becomes solid ground on which to stand to reach for your future, right? The universe, creator, your guides, they don't judge you. The only one that judges you is you. And when you can realize that everything you have ever experienced was simply for the wisdom that experience brought, then there's no need to judge yourself. There's no need for shame or guilt. It's like you did the best you could at every moment with what you knew in that moment. And just like the old cliche about Thomas Edison discovering 1,001 ways not to invent the light bulb before he finally got success, all of the missteps or mistakes and things like that, that's how we know. It's by kind of going off the road a little bit that we learn how to navigate and stay on the road. Those places are like the rumble strips on the side of the road. And you don't beat yourself up because you kind of accidentally just kind of ease onto the rumble strips by mistake. You're just like, oh, whoops, okay, a little too far this way, I'm going to come back to center. That's all those experiences are. So when you can forgive yourself and gain the wisdom that came from them, it becomes medicine. It becomes experience. Number one, it gives you the compassion to help others who are in similar circumstances. Number two, it's like, okay, I've experienced that. I don't have to go there anymore. I know what that feels like, right? So that is snake. And the other one that came up with you was boar. And they both kind of came up sideways. And, ha! It's like Sidewinder. But boar is about initiation. Whereas snake is, and the way I put, like, the way I held them up, because they were opposite, they were kind of, one was one way and one was the other way. And this is how I held them up at first. I think you're in the snake stage right now, but this is imminent. And boar is initiation. It's like snake is the more passive. It's like surrendering, healing, nurturing. It's resting. It's like resting before, the night before the big game or something. Because the boar is about, this is where you actively face down your inner demons, face down your fears. If your life were a video game, right now you're gaining skills and tools and weapons, etc., getting ready to face the boss of that level. And so boar is just like the boss in a video game. But whereas most people see that it's an obstacle that you have to conquer, he's actually more like the gatekeeper. His job there is not to destroy you or to humble you or to send you back to the beginning. His job is to make sure that you have gained all the skills and the wisdom and the tools that you need to progress to the next level. Okay? And so it's like, and when I say active, I'm not talking about get out your battle axe and fight. It's about, like, it's spiritual warrior time. But a spiritual warrior it's not like the superheroes going out to battle evil. Because evil, I just read this great explanation, and it was supposedly Einstein who said it, but I wouldn't quote him as that. But so-called evil is similar to cold and dark. That cold is just an absence of heat. Dark is just an absence of light. You don't actually, oh good, it's affirming a lot of what you're experiencing, Jennifer. You don't measure cold, you measure how much heat is present. And the same with the dark. There's no way to measure dark. You can't measure dark. You can measure how much light is present. And it's the same with good and evil. I don't really like to even use that word, but it's like love and fear is an absence of love. You can't measure, like, the fear. It's like, it's the presence of love. Like, there aren't two sources of good and evil, love and fear. There is only one source, and it's a source of well-being, of love, of oneness, of connection. And so anything seen as fear or bad or evil is an absence of that principle, of that like with light radiating or heat radiating, love radiating into the universe. Dark places of darkness, of the badness, are just places of absence from that good, from that love. Love is the only power in the universe. Fear is an absence. And so this is about facing, even though you may be quaking in your boots, right? It's like fear, and fear. So fear is not, we're not trying to conquer our fears. As a spiritual warrior, your job is to stand your ground, to stand and focus the light no matter what comes at you. Because there isn't an equal force coming at you. It's not like two solid things, you know, mano a mano, or whatever they call it, you know, head to head. Light, love is the only reality. And so you're facing the darkness. You're being the light in the darkness. That is the job of a spiritual warrior, is to stand that ground, to stand in the light no matter what comes at them. It's like the Cheyenne had their dog soldiers, right? It was an elite group of fighting men. And when the village was threatened, everyone else was running away, the women, the children, the elderly. The men would run out toward the enemy, and they would make a ring around wherever whatever they were protecting. And they had these long sashes around their waist, and they had a spear, and they would put the spear through the sash into the ground, and that was their ground. And they would stand there, and they would defend the land, their village from whoever came at them. They never moved until another warrior freed them from that spot, or they were dead. And that's kind of like, without the fighting part of it, it's kind of like the combination of a dog soldier and a Tao master, right? You stand there and just be the light, because when you're in the light, there's nothing the dark can do to you. It's really that simple, but it's that hard as well, because we get so caught in this world of duality, of dark and light, and we forget that we are pure love. And so it's like standing up to those periods of darkness, those places in you of fear, of darkness, and bringing the light to them. That's really what this is about. It's standing into your power, and walking through it, walking through that shadow. So you said that you were just experiencing that, and you were just journaling about that same thing. Awesome. Whew. Okay, that was a long one. So I'm glad that made sense. And I think you're one of the ones that signed up for my course starting next week, and I have a feeling that might be part of that initiation, coming into your own. You know, it doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be a fight. It's like as you bring awareness to ignorance or whatever, it's like learning. It can be positive. It doesn't have to be this, because there's nothing like light can't fight darkness. Light can just illuminate the darkness, right? And the dark cannot affect the light. Only the light can affect the dark, right? So, you're welcome. Whew. That felt like a lot of rambling. All right, so Valerie, card number 2. Looks like we're having a quiet night tonight. All right, so card number 2 for Valerie. Valerie, you got the frog. Frog is about cleansing. Frog to me is like the patron saint of empaths. Because when they're in the water, they soak in everything that's in the water. And so they need purity. And it's kind of like you're starting to recognize what it is that you need to remain stable, to remain grounded, to remain in your power, and making the effort to actually go toward those things, right? If frog finds itself in water that is too toxic, it will hop around until it finds a water source that is pure, that nurtures him, and so he leaves the rest behind. And so it's about the seeking out what nurtures. It's not about focusing on what you're letting go of. It's focusing on where you're going, where you're headed. And if you think about, like Abraham Hicks talks about contrast, about when something doesn't feel good to you, you're actually creating what he calls, what does he call them? Rockets of desire. And so by realizing what you don't want, what doesn't work for you, you're automatically creating what does work for you. And so there's this pivot point. And that's what I'm that's why I'm talking about this, because it feels like you're at a pivot point right now where you know what doesn't work. You know what makes you feel like crap. And so it's not the situation that needs to be fixed. There's nothing to fix. It's about pivoting toward what you need, what feeds you, what sustains you, what nurtures you. Like when I was having anxiety attacks and such way back when, I realized that when I was in the throes of an anxiety attack, there was nothing I could do to fix it. This kind of goes along with what I said earlier about the tunnel of love boat, right? Love boat. Sorry. You have to just surrender to the ride. You recognize what's going on, and you realize that you've been through it before. This isn't going to kill you. That you will come out the other side, which makes it easier to surrender to the experience. And the more you can surrender to it, the less you resist it, the quicker it goes, and the less painful it is. Where was I going? Oh, and so when you find yourself, this is where I was going. When you find yourself in a place of frustration or hurt or whatever, like a negative emotion, the existence of that situation automatically proves that there is the opposite available. And so it's not about fixing that situation. You don't fix the outside circumstances to make you feel better. You have to feel better first. And that's what leads you to the circumstances that reinforce that feeling. And so it's like right now it's about finding those sweet spots. Like Tess from Stargazer used to talk about the 3 happy. She would wake up every morning and say, all right, universe, I'm ready for my 3 happy surprises. And then she would go about her day with the expectation that the universe would give her 3 happy surprises. And she always found them because that was her intent, that was her expectation. And she would have that feeling of excitement, right? And that is what drew her to those experiences. So the more you can feel the reality and the truth of what you're seeking, the quicker you're going to find yourself in those places. So, but the fact that he's upright is like you're in the middle of it, you're doing it, you're moving forward. It may not feel like you're moving forward very quickly, but you are moving forward. So I hope that is helpful. Also, look at where you are now compared to where you started, right? When frog is like hatches from the eggs, they're totally in the water. They're water dwellers, right? And they live beneath the water. But you have grown to the point where you have literally opened up worlds that you didn't even know existed before. And being the amphibious one, you are able to go into the water or be on land to breathe air. Even when they're living in the water, right, their tail has all the nourishment and the air that they need to live underwater. So it's like you're self-contained. You always have been. But your world is opened up. It's like time to claim the worlds that you have embraced rather than just that, the very limited emotional reality of, say, your childhood or whatever. It's like claim the worlds that have opened up before you because of your willingness to know that there is something greater. Okay? All right. Card number 4 for Sage. No, card number 3, sorry. We had 4 cards because... No, 1, 2, 3. This would be the 4th card because Jennifer got 2 cards. But this is card number 3 for Sage. I need a nap. All right. All right, Sage. Yeah, Emerald wanted one, but there's only 4 people who requested cards tonight, so you're getting one. So, Sage, you got Grouse in reverse. Have you been feeling disconnected lately? Grouse is the spiral dance. It's that dance of vitality. It's the dance of the double helix. It's the spiral that connects all things in the universe. And so in reverse, it can be a feeling of isolation, of being disconnected. Like, everything hurts. It's like your nerves are... just in one aspect of your life, it can feel like your nerves are on fire. It's like there's definitely you and then the world, and there's a separation. There's like this no man's land in between. And so the medicine that's called for, the thing that grouse calls for, is to dance. And it can be physical dance. Actually, physical dance, I had a teacher one time that said that dance is the easiest way for soul retrieval. That when you dance, you're already whole. That it calls back all the parts that are missing. Or you can do metaphorically to really, similar to what I was talking about with Valerie with Frog, it's like seeking out those things that make you jump for joy, those things that lift your heart. And to know that, we tend to think that, I had a feeling, 1,000% need to start dancing. Yes, you do. Like I mentioned last week, I remember us talking about this last week, about how we have these challenges and we focus on the challenge and we focus on what to do to fix this problem. But like Einstein said, the only way to you can't fix a problem with the same energy that created the problem. You have to come at it from a higher vantage point. And so when you have a challenge, when you have a problem, to keep badgering it or focusing on the problem isn't helping it at all. You need to raise your vibration. Joy is the antidote. Just finding something that's joyful, especially if it has nothing to do with what you're dealing with, because it's from raising to that joy, that feeling of joy, no matter what it is, that gives you the vantage point to look down on whatever this challenge is and find either new opportunities or to find out that it really doesn't matter in the first place, right? So dance, right? Get that energy swirling. Drum. Grouse is, if there is a physical bird that could be called the thunderbird, it would be the grouse. And are you okay, Kit Kat? Oh, my kitty, I don't know if you can hear that. My kitty just got sick. I'll be there in a second, Missy. So grouse when they beat their wings, they create the way they do it, they create the same phenomenon as thunder. And they drum. It's like you can feel it when you're in the woods and they're drumming, you feel it. It's that heartbeat. And so that, again, is about coming into that feeling of connection, the feeling of aliveness, right? Whatever makes that energy start to flow. And so, again, it's really heart-centered, and it's finding your own drum beat, marching to the beat of your own drum, finding what it is that makes you need to dance. So go ahead and find whatever it is that whatever you geek out about, that's the answer. Because the answer is joy. Whatever the problem is, the answer is love.
Here.
Yeah, can you take care of that, love, please? Kitty emergency. What a strange night. So Sage, dance. And when you dance, the universe dances with you, right? The spiral, like I said, the spiral is what connects us to all things. Everything exists in a spiral. And so when we dance, when we become part of that spiral, it's not that we we lose our individuality, become homogenized with everything else, we find our own place in that orchestra that is the universe. We find our own frequency, that unique aspect that is us, right? And it's that, it's really the only responsibility you have in this life is to be yourself as fully and authentically as you can. Because it's like I said, it is like an orchestra. It's a harmony of frequencies. And if someone isn't playing their part in the orchestra, you're gonna know it. If they're trying, like if a piccolo is trying to play the first trombones part, it's not gonna work, right? And then we miss out because every instrument is important. And so it's like finding your own wavelength, finding your own uniqueness, and playing that note, dancing that dance unapologetically, realizing that you are upholding the entirety of the universe when you do so. You are the missing link that holds the universe together. Okay? All right. So card number 4 is for Emerald. I wonder what's going on tonight that not very many people are here. I'm so glad I'm so glad that was on your wavelength. I'm glad that makes sense. I'm glad that resonated. All right, card number 4 for Emerald. Okay. Just because there's not as many people here tonight doesn't mean that everyone gets more cards. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Maybe that's why not as many people showed up tonight. But Emerald, 3 cards jumped out for you. And they jumped out. So I don't know, upright, reverse, it doesn't really matter. But you got Heron, you got Hummingbird, and you got Turtle. Turtle. So, okay, let's unravel this. And the Hummingbird, by the way, and here is numbered 44. I just thought you might enjoy knowing that. Dude, you are doing so good. I mean, you know, Heron is stillness. Heron, in a way, is about manifesting. Like, Heron stands there in stillness, and the fish come to him, right? So it's about being that hollow bone, that pillar of light, bridge between heaven and earth, and everything that you need comes to you. And being well-grounded, you know, Turtle is like Mother Earth. Turtle is a reflection of Mother Earth herself. And so you're well-grounded, self-contained. You don't need protection. You don't need, who you are is enough. You don't need to put on armor. You don't need to shield. Because of who you are and the frequency you radiate from that essence of you, you don't need the extra protection. Like you're becoming, how do I put this? You're becoming, I'm trying to say this. Like I said, like Turtle represents Mother Earth, the planet, right? And it's like you are becoming a world unto yourself. That is huge. And I don't even know what that means exactly, even as I'm saying it. But you have everything you need. You are contained, self-contained. The denizen of many worlds, the water, the earth. And so it's like, it's almost like there's no need for striving anymore. You're the wizard, you're the master. And everything falls into place around you. This is about being the eye of the storm, right? And you carry that calm through the world, and everything around you calms. Instead of you adapting to the energy around you like most people do, the energy around you adapts itself to your radiance. And with this little guy, it's like Hummingbird is pure joy. And it's so much evidence of dropping anything heavy, anything that's holding you down. It's like Hummingbird has no baggage. He is so light and so fast because he doesn't have anything holding him back. This is like your pure essence. This is your spirit, right? Zip, zip, zoom. Can go in any direction. Can make almost right turns. They're like a little gyroscope. And so it's like you have before you, it's interesting, because of the work you've done, because you are so genuinely you, and so grounded in who you are, it's kind of almost ironic. You're so grounded that it gives you this freedom. And so you have infinite number of choices of directions that you can go in. And just like the other ones I talked about, it's about searching the sweet spots, right? Hummingbird feeds on the nectar of flowers, the sweetest things in nature, and that gives him all the energy, all the power he needs for a healthy life. And so it's like continuing to follow that. I just got this image of Toucan Sam from Fruit Loops following his nose. It's like, follow your nose to the sweet spots, because you've let go of the heavy baggage. You don't need it anymore. And sometimes it can feel really disorienting because we're so used. We're like, oh, life is hard. We're taught life has to be a struggle. We have to fight the good fight, right? Again, Hummingbird is a spiritual warrior. They can be very aggressive. They're very territorial. They're like little warriors. So again, it's about standing that ground, like knowing that you are worth defending, knowing that your boundaries, that your well-being is worth defending, and standing in that power, knowing that no one can change that without your permission. Wow. Wow. Yeah, it's like freedom. Follow your heart toward what feels the most free, what feels the most joyful, what feels the most loving and nurturing. You've done your time in the heaviness, in the pain, in the degradation, and ignoring your own needs, letting go of the obligations and responsibilities to focus on and prioritize yourself and your well-being. Because that is not selfish. Like I said with Sage, it's like your only responsibility in this life is to be the most authentic you possibly can, because you are already a high-frequency being of light. You are already divine. You are already whole. And the more you can bring that into this world, the better off the entire world is. You don't do it just for yourself, and it doesn't affect just yourself. You raise, like they say, the tide raises all ships. If you bring a higher vibration into the world, everyone benefits. Everything benefits. They might not recognize it as that. To them, it might seem like chaos, like where we started with Snake and everything falling apart, not being able to contain them anymore, and feeling like, oh my God, what can I stand? You know, there's no solid ground. But your soul is, it's like, I keep coming back to the hot air balloon analogy. Your soul naturally rises. And it's only the ballast that we take on, the sandbags they have on the sides of the balloon, right, that hold it down, or the tether that holds it to the ground. But that balloon wants to fly. Your heart, your soul, naturally will rise. And so it's about dropping that ballast, dropping the heaviness to allow yourself to rise naturally into your naturally high frequency, into that divine light that is your essence. Okay? Whew. All right. Well, I guess we're going to call it a night. Maybe I need to start doing four card readings rather than 6 if I want to get done in an hour, huh? But thank you, everyone who showed up. I'm going to do one more card for the community. And I'm glad you guys all came along. Thank you for sticking it out with me. And like I said, Wednesday, if you're interested, every Wednesday at 7 o'clock I do a sacred pipe ceremony right here on Facebook. And the Saturday, depending, I've been exposed to COVID. So far I've been testing negative, but that could change. But Saturday, if I'm still clear, I'll be doing our community sacred pipe ceremony in person in my office. So if you've ever watched my ceremonies online and you'd like to experience the power of it in person, come and join me Saturday from 11 to noon. And after COVID, I'm a little cautious about letting other people smoke my pipe, but there's an element of sharing that gets lost if I'm the only one holding the pipe. And so at one point, normally in a normal pipe ceremony, there's a point where we would pass the pipe and everyone would smoke it and blow their prayers into the air. But because of COVID and such, I no longer want, I'm cautious about people smoking it, but I still like to pass the pipe so that people can actually hold it and say their prayers and feel the energy, feel the power that is holding them and holding their prayers and carrying their prayers. So anyway, so that will be Saturday. And then next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, I am launching into, I think, the eighth year-ish of my year-long shaman course. So you want to be a shaman. It's a monthly course every fourth Tuesday from 6 to 9 in person at my office, and we explore every month a different aspect of shamanism. We learn, like someone said one time, that once you know how to do a shamanic journey, all the other classes and workshops are about learning what questions to ask. And so we will spend a year asking the questions and finding out who you can talk to, what you can talk to, where you can go, what you can experience. And it's very powerful. I mentioned it earlier, and it's like this class will change your life. So that's that. So those can all be found on my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. And if you would like a personal reading with me, if you enjoyed the little taste of my readings tonight and you would like a full reading, you can check that. You can set up a session with me from my website, and you can see the different healings and readings and teachings I offer. I also do mentoring, one-on-one mentoring. If you'd like to take that route, want to learn more about shamanism and how to actually apply shamanic principles. Anything else? Oh, and when we're done here, I will share this video to my Facebook page so you can watch it again. If you decide in the middle of the week you need some more guidance, you can pull this up and choose a different number and see the guidance of whatever I said for that card number, and I promise you it will be relevant. That's how spirit works. I will also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, where I have over 4 years worth of these videos of these readings, of other readings, of the ceremonies, of stories, of songs, different things. So check out my YouTube, and please subscribe and like the videos you watch. They're there as a free resource for you, and I so enjoy doing this work. So, and as I said, I also pinned to the top of the comments, I have my PayPal and Venmo links. So if you feel like you would like to reciprocate, if you got something from this reading, or you just want to support your friendly neighborhood shaman, you can do so there, and for which I am so very grateful. And I will have that in the information when I put this up on Facebook, etc. So I believe that is it. So one card for the community for this coming week. Spider. And she's in reverse technically, but like I said one time, the only thing that says that she's upside down is those words and numbers. It's like, otherwise, spider doesn't really have an up or down. Know that your life, that you are a creator, you are a co-creator, you weave your world through your thoughts, your expectations, your intentions, that you literally create your reality by what you connect to. Like Spider spinning her web, she fastens her web to things that can support her world, right? She doesn't put it on things that are flimsy, that can't uphold, can't support her web. So look at what you tie yourself to. You know, it might be time to cut some cords. Like if a situation or a certain person or whatever it might be gives you a bad feeling, like makes your guts kind of turn over or whatever, it might be time to let that loose, cut that cord, because you have plenty more supporting you. You don't let obligations and responsibilities hold you back from becoming who you actually are. Don't let guilt or shame stand in the way, like hold you down. Like I was talking about the hot air balloons and the tethers, right? Holding the balloon down to the earth. You don't want to be tethered. You want to be supported. And know that, like spider, where some species will tear down their web every night and rebuild a whole new one every morning, every moment is a new moment of creation. You are on the leading edge of creation. There is never a time where you are stuck. There is never a time without hope. There is never anything that cannot be changed or transmuted or shifted. Every moment is a brand new moment. You are a brand new being. And the present is your point of power, no matter what happened in the past, no matter what may be projected into the future. You are in the center of your world, the center of your reality, deciding what you will tie yourself to and what you will not. And learning to read the vibrations of the universe, being so connected that you know which direction to go, which vibration is food and which vibration is something that's going to hurt. So, there you got it. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you next week. Please share this video and invite your friends. What else? Yeah, and I hope to see you next Monday night. And until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. You're welcome, Sage. Have a wonderful night and a wonderful week. I will see you soon. Go shining. All right.